So we'd recorded this episode with the intent of talking about the radio silence from ANET and no Word updates whatsoever. And then as it was getting edited, the day after we recorded, our internet finally put out a brief update about World vs. World.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, they must have heard us recording.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep our original episode, and then at the end we're going to slide in a bit about the most recent update that they just added.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Criff,
And I'm Salamander.
and this is the State of the Mist podcast, where we bring you updates and news about World versus World, and well, pretty much just World versus World.
Yeah. A lot of stuff's been going on. Um, kind of.
Yeah, things spoken of going on, but we'll,
Yeah.
we'll get into that.
Yeah. So what's the first thing on the agenda, Griff?
Well, it's been a bit since we've done an episode, so we're going to kind of reach back to the first item, which was actually in June. So, ArenaNet had been hyping up, the new expansion, the Secret of the Obscure Wizard
Right.
Tower stuff. And they had, kind of as an afterthought at the end of one of their, news blog updates on the 28th of June, they were, what comes next? And so they say, we'll be back in the next week or so, with details about the next War vs. World restructuring beta, which will feature the ability for guilds to team up in alliances for World vs. World. So really, cool, forward-looking, good news stuff, which would have put it as within the next week or so. So that kind of I would expect that to be, if that was June, I would expect, within the next week or so,
Yeah, at least in July.
at least July. I mean, and they're kind of saying the next beta will have more stuff. It'll have the actual alliance functionality. That's the point of the whole thing, and exciting hype stuff, which could have even come before the expansion, but nothing.
Yeah.
There- I mean, there are people, in some discussions saying, "Oh, well, they maybe they wrote it wrong, or maybe they didn't really mean in the next week or so." And no, like, come on, it's September. It's halfway through September.
Yeah, it's been brought up a few times and we still haven't heard any news. We're still waiting. Um, really hoping it comes soon.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a need to monetize the game, and expansions are where they make money, and I get it that they'd have to maybe pull some dev resources for that, and yeah, whatever they have to do to push out an expansion. I don't know. There's crunch time, busy stuff, but that maybe wasn't communicated too well internally or something, or whatever happened there. It's not okay to just say nothing. It's
Yeah.
it's just not. Like, that's poor business practices.
Like we just like to see some sort of update. Even if it's we have things still underway. You'll hear from us with the next big update or big roadmap. But yeah,
It's just kind of like a common courtesy thing. Like, if you say something, you're kind of expected to do it, and if you don't, maybe say why, or at least acknowledge it.
yeah,
Don't just ignore it and hope nobody notices. Like, that's shady. That's, I don't know what that is, but I don't like it.
yeah, yeah. There were some people even mentioning that it may have been because of what was it their senior worldview world developer?
Okay, so yes, that's a big possibility, and this is not widely known, or it's probably more widely known now. But
Yeah, yeah. It's been months.
so on the forums, there's either there or Reddit. Some did sleuth internet detective person looked on LinkedIn, and the post is on the forums, on the official forums, and on Reddit. You can look for it, where somebody noticed that the lead World vs. World developer, Floyd Grubbs, is no longer employed by ArenaNet. He's now employed by Blizzard.
Right. And that was before the post they made saying that they'll give us a World versus World update or an update on what they're going to be doing with World versus World, the one made in June, because according to the LinkedIn profile, he's been at his new company since May, so the month before.
Right, right. So it's been a bit, and we haven't really. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a possible problem in the World vs. World dev department now since he's gone, and nobody knows what's going on. So
Yeah. Yeah, so there may have been an issue there may be issues with difficulty with the transition, or maybe they're still looking for a new lead. But we won't really know until we hear from the developers or in it themselves.
that's kind of. I don't know if it's the end of alliances, but I'm kind of gonna assume it is. To be honest, like
I
if this
still
was
have
the
my hopes
guy.
up.
I don't know. I mean, if they would say anything about it at all, that might be reassuring. But just ignoring everything and saying nothing and not following their commitments is just a trend of terrible that is not encouraging.
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty bad. Because ever since they announced that they're actively working on it, we've been pretty optimistic about the things rolling out and everything. But now it seems as if, I don't know, they've lost a dev and it could go either way. And it seems like if we don't hear about it, then it might not be happening?
Right. I mean, it's all assumptions. We don't really know what's going on in the studios, and
Yeah,
we just know they don't tell us anything, and I guess we'll know when they do tell us something. But
yeah. Annette, please update us. I'll give
so
you
let's
gold.
see the. I will chip in. So, in kind of an indirect, very vague update that we got, which was another kind of commitment that we'll see what comes of it. But the 22nd, Ruby posted a kind of a roadmap, one of those graphics where they say what's coming up for the fall, August to October. And, there's the secrets of the obscure lines and lines of all the new stuff they're going to add there. Of course, good old Mad King Halloween Festival. And then at the end, two lines under gameplay systems. Skill and balance updates, always good,
Right?
and a very vague World vs. World update.
Yeah. And this is the post that came after the departure of their World versus World dev lead. So maybe they are working on something, might be coming out slowly, but yeah, like Griff mentioned, very, very vague. All we can expect is some sort of World versus World update.
So I guess if you're generous, you could see that roadmap as they're in the coming weeks saying something about World vs. World. If you think that as that is what that is, so either they have alliances done and they're going to launch it by October, or they don't know what's going on and they're just going to let it sit there and it's kind of
If I had
like
to
maybe.
guess, it would be that alliances are done and they're going to release it before the end of October, but I don't know.
I mean, it's possible, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of other attention now with Secrets of the Obscure, so that's where a lot of people are devoting their attention. And
Yeah. Okay, so cutting into the current podcast, this is where we finish discussing how we feel about not hearing from ANET. But since ANET has rolled out an announcement, this is our response. And just so the listeners here have an idea of what's going on, would you like to take it from here, Griff?
sure, so the 14th of September, ArenaNet has blessed us with a informational update. And at the end, they did put in a section about world restructuring and alliances. And that's kind of what everybody has been waiting for since June. So
Right. And
it's not. Okay.
yeah, no, things aren't as clear as we had hoped. They are shifting their priorities. They haven't said that they're cutting off the alliance system. They didn't say they're going to stop working on it, but they did mention that the alliance system beta will not be coming this year. So, what we previously mentioned in the podcast, with the dev leaving, that may have slowed it a little bit. But yeah, at least we have that news. There are going to be some changes coming, but yeah, no alliance system beta
Yeah,
for
it's not
now.
a very substantial update. There's no timelines, no specifics on that end, but the message is encouraging that they are still working on it in some fashion. So
Yeah,
that's nice. It's kind of a confusing update, but what it seems that they're doing is the actual guilds formed together into alliances. They're kind of giving up on that for now, and they're gonna put out the beta version that we have been seeing in the betas where matchmaking is exclusively done with guilds.
yeah, which is nice. Like that's a big reason why a lot of us are excited for alliances in the first place, to play with, our alliance friends.
Right. Get our guilds together without spending gems. Everybody can play in one place. And
Yeah,
it's kind of weird how they're saying they're gonna reprioritize things. And people are understanding it a little bit differently, but the key line in there is well, this part here. With reprioritizing, we will not be opening the alliance system to beta testing this year. So probably no beta tests.
yeah,
But, quote unquote, we will refocus on delivering an always on version of World Restructuring to players as soon as possible. That, to me, an always on version of World Restructuring means they're going to get rid of current servers and put in a permanent beta where
yeah,
every week is kind of like the betas that we were seeing. That's really cool. I mean, who knows what as soon as possible is with ArenaNet, but it still sounds cool.
yeah, yeah. That is what drew a lot of people back to the game, the world restructuring betas. When we had nonstop queues, a lot of people coming back to pretty much play with their alliance because guilds had alliance guilds as a filler, which is kind of what we're going to be seeing. So we're going to see a lot of the people, re-inviting players to the alliance guilds just so that we can just so that we could bring all the guilds together, since the alliance system isn't going to be implemented this year. But yeah.
Yeah, and quite honestly, for the actual War versus World guilds that play regularly and are organized or in the community, not a big deal. We
Yeah,
already have alliance guilds; they already exist, they already work.
right.
The kind of actual UI stuff is just polish and icing on the cake. Yeah,
Yeah, the question is, when will we get the world restructured?
right, right. And I mean, their roadmap has World vs. World updates by the end of October,
Yeah,
so
so we might be seeing it there.
that's kind of the best case scenario we were talking about, where it might have gotten finished before Grubs left, and they were just waiting to ship it.
Yeah, they're probably polishing it off a little bit.
I like that they pulled the trigger on just launching it though. They were kind of hemming and hawing. Yeah, let's wait till it's perfect and show the players absolutely nothing. And
Yeah. And I remember you saying, I don't know if you mentioned it in the podcast before, but at least during some of our runs, that they should just make that the current state of world versus world, the world restructuring, what we saw during the beta. And that's what's happening. So it's great.
yeah, yeah, there's excitement with the possibilities of that coming online. I'm really hoping it is sooner than later.
Yeah. They did say something about I don't know if it was earlier in this announcement, but they're looking for cool ideas from the community for bonus events for either PvE, PvP, or world versus world. And I don't know if I mentioned what I wanted before or after this portion that we're inserting here, but please give us all mounts in Edge of the Mist. All mounts. Let's do it.
Break the game. Get them on there.
Yeah.
I if they didn't plan on implementing anything in Edge of the Mist, they're just missing the boat because it is so much like the new expansion. Like I want to see some
Yeah.
mounts flying around in there.
Yeah, I'd love it so much.
Is the game ready for PvP mount versus mount? I don't know, but
The raptor dismount attack has that crazy pull that I don't think is target capped. So yeah, just have some sidecar come in after our well bomb and pull a bunch of people in with the raptor attack.
I don't even have half of the mounts unlocked. I don't know if I like that idea actually.
It's okay. I'll help you unlock them. They're
Okay.
easy. The only hard ones, well, the only hard one I think was Skyscale. You could get the Griffin in a day. You just need gold and a little bit of collection, and I think you get the roller beetle through story. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I got the hard one. Yeah, Scott Scale's good.
Yeah, all mounts in it. Let's do it. I'm not gonna post in the forums.
There's so many things. Yeah, I mean, even just an occasional no downstate week. Like we haven't seen those in a while.
Yeah, or make it a no downstate map and give people pips.
Oh man, that'd be brutal.
Yeah, yeah, that would be pretty bad. But we do need pips on that map. I think that's the main thing keeping people from it.
Yeah, and they need to make all dailies achievable in Edge of the Mist too.
Yeah,
Weeklies, all that stuff.
yeah. All right, so that pretty much sums up the this little add-on segment that we're throwing into the middle of the podcast. So we're just gonna go straight back into the rest of the podcast episode. So you guys enjoy.
There's not that much to it since it's a mini expansion and it's only like 2 maps. I don't I don't think people are going to be in it that long, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It gave us a decent amount of content. I mean, they pushed it out pretty quick after their previous expansion. So yeah, 2 new maps. The weapons master training system. Some strike missions and other things. And yeah, it's been pretty fun though.
I did end up getting it. I'm kind of working through it and it's fun. It's, a lot like other expansions, but it's cool stuff.
Yeah, the story was cool. If you haven't played the story yet, uh, I would recommend it. Like, yeah, funny continuation from uh where the previous story left off. It was really nice.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of the segue onto the topic of how that expansion is affecting World vs. World,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I did
which
mention the weapon master training. That's one of the things. But yeah, go on, Griff.
yeah. Well, no, you can kind of tell the audience what the big things are for the
Okay.
Soto.
So the biggest things, runes have been split but from runes into runes and relics. So the final um rune that you get, which used to unlock a, I guess, additional skill, has been separated and made its own thing. It'll be in the, well, if you're listening to this, I'd assume you have the game installed. You've seen it. It's right next to the trinkets, and you're able to put in something that has an effect similar to runes, or maybe it has the effect of a previous rune. But yeah, those are the relics. Some of them are insane. Some of them are the same as um, what we had with runes. And the other big update was the weapon master training, which allows you to use the specific weapons from elite specializations on the core characters and beyond.
See, I'd say in World vs. World, really not as much impact as I had expected, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, really nice. I thought it was gonna destroy a lot of builds and stuff. Uh I am happy to see that there are a few new builds and that I'm able to use Axe on my burn DH, which is something I've wanted for the longest time. I'm still waiting for Focus Guardian, but that's gonna have to wait for the next expansion. But yeah,
Yeah, I haven't gotten into the Weapon Master stuff, but as far as I understand it, right now you'll be able to use the weapon that your other masteries can use. So, like a Dragon Hunter can use an axe, that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But it's not like a free for all where you can use any weapon.
yeah. They might start adding additional weapons to specializations down the line. For example, we mentioned in the previous episode that Guardian is getting dual pistols eventually. Not sure when that's happening, but yeah, it is gonna come down the line.
Yeah, it seems like with this slower expansion rollout stuff, or smaller expansions, they're going to be doing like live-in story episodes where they add on a map and other probably weapon master stuff at that point, I guess.
Yeah,
But with this stuff, I mean, it's really about the relics. Like the runes are kind of the same as they were. They killed a few relics which weren't used that much, but or a few runes, sorry.
yeah,
But the relics are not really. There's nothing stat related. It's all kind of little effects, like get super speed or whatever. But nothing crazy overpowered. I mean, there's a few gimmicks here and there, and you can kind of specialize what your group is doing with them. But
yeah. A lot of them are pretty cool. Like you said, not there aren't that many that are like really broken. I don't think any of them are. Um, but yeah, some of them did take a pretty big hit in the. Is that update coming out soon, or did it just roll out? The one where I think they nerfed um two relics.
that already came out. So
Okay.
the the antitoxin, that was a big one for
Yeah.
cleansing. They brought that one down. So
Yeah. Is that the one we were running on majority of our healers?
yeah, and it was actually starting to make Heal Scrapper look good again, but now it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay, heal scrapper. Enjoy the bench. DPS scrapper is still fun though.
Yes.
One thing I like is the speed relic, the relic of speed. We did have the rune of speed before, but it was locked to specific stats, and that was the only thing that kept me from playing it like on all of my characters before. But yeah, that 66% increase in movement speed, uh, yeah, that's pretty good. It doesn't meet super speed, but super speed's 100% bonus. It still beats a lot of the others. But yeah,
Yeah, that is a nice one to have. It's kind of the default almost, I think.
yeah,
I mean, roaming with the rune of the first it was rune of the traveler and then it was rune of speed, but yeah, always some kind of movement speed bonus. But now you can put it on any gear set at all, which is nice.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of testing to be done with those and some bugs to be found. So I'm still sure.
Were there any fun bugs with the relics when they first dropped?
I don't know about fun. I mean, there's the one that's kind of the Eye of Sauron in the sky. So some Zergs will all run that, and then you'll just have kind of a blinding mass of
Oh
eyeballs.
yeah. That one's a pretty fun one though. It looks really cool.
I don't think it's helping the lag situation very much, though. There's
Yeah, it's
definite lag.
not. Speaking of lag though, I feel like I get more frames on the newer maps in comparison to like Path of Fire and End of Dragons. Is it I don't know if it's because they're just less visual clutter or something, but yeah.
That would be a cool thing to see verified amongst a lot of people,
Yeah.
because I mean it could be, because we hear a lot of stuff about spaghetti code, and it is an old game, but
Yeah.
if they're starting fresh maps and they can kind of use all the new stuff, whatever it is, DX11 and et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I
you've
mean
noticed a difference, let us know in the comments because now I'm just curious.
and that might be the only road out of lag is just brand new maps. There may not be really a way to fix the current World maps with all the other layers of gunk they've added on top.
New world versus world maps? What? Let's do it. Ain't it's on you now.
At least one to try or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be cool. If they added um like one just to test out, especially with all the queues going on nowadays.
People have some silly ass ideas for stuff like that. Like somebody was going off in team chat about how they wanted Joko in World vs. World and armies of AI NPCs, and I'm like, what?
Make Fire Lord the Fire Keep Lord as hard as a raid boss.
Oh God.
Yeah. No, but I think what would be really fun and funny is if they had an event that made all mounts accessible in Edge of the Mists. Like that would be pretty fun.
That map is a lot like the new stuff with the
Yeah,
floating islands, and yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, imagine going off the edge with a griffin and climbing up. I think I mentioned this before in a previous episode, but yeah, climbing up and just dive bombing. That would be super cool.
Man, the complexity of like 3D combat and moving up and down on dragons and stuff. Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
the game's ready. We'll
I don't did you unlock the fireball um attack on your sky scale yet?
No, I still got to get that one. Is it decent? Like,
Yeah, it's pretty fun. There's even an event where you need to use it. So, I'm glad it's not like you unlock it for the story and stuff and that's it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
cool.
If we see that in World versus World, oh my god. We'd have to have a whole new set of siege to fight against flying mounts.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a whole different game mode basically. I mean, your skills wouldn't matter at that point.
Yeah. Just have to make it so that sky scales and griffins can't fly into enemy keeps. Maybe put like a force field around it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So then you'd force it into regular combat.
Yeah. Like you're instantly dismounted like you're going into a jumping puzzle.
hmm Yeah, and I guess the expansion kind of does that because it pushes everybody into sky skills, whether you got them unlocked or not.
Yeah. And I heard they're easier to get now. Through the expansion, which is nice. I haven't tried it. I don't know if I can, because I've had the sky scale unlocked since Path of Fire, but yeah.
Yeah, I ended up getting it not terribly long ago. I think it was last year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think you said you and Kai were grinding at it, right?
Yeah, it was kind of nice just going back through all the other old content and stuff,
Yeah.
but definitely not easy to access if you're new to the game though.
Yeah.
Well, we can move on to our guild gossip segment.
Oh yeah. And don't forget our guest musician.
Oh yes, we'll save that for the end. Yeah, so guild movement to recognize recently, which I mean may not be that interesting to everybody, but it's interesting to us because it was us. We moved servers.
Yeah. Yeah, we moved servers again. So if you're looking for us, I know a lot of new players actively look for us and uh like try to join the guild. We are no longer on Darkhaven and we are no longer on GOM. Sorry to everyone who does ones. I'm gonna close this door. They are grinding something outside. But yeah, sorry to anyone. I don't know if you heard all of that. Like it sounds like they have one of those wood chippers going on outside. The landlord just got back home. But yeah. Sorry to everyone who made their account on one of those servers. You may have seen one of our old videos. But yeah. We are now on Crystal Desert, thankfully.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy decision, and there were definitely some people that we liked playing with that are still over there.
Yeah,
Shout
we
out,
miss you guys.
shout out to No and Mist.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was ultimately a queues problem. Like, there's been population shifts, and our server got so full, especially during the time we play at night. We just couldn't always get our people in. Definitely couldn't swap maps, and it became a problem.
Right. How are the queues during NA Prime now? Since I don't get to play during those hours, I never get to see.
So over on Crystal Desert, where we moved to, it is great. I mean, we can. get everybody into the map at the start. Maybe one map's queued, maybe EB, and it's really a lot easier to coordinate with the other guilds and kind of swap maps and stuff since they're more willing to cooperate. So
Yeah, I've
yeah.
liked the Switch a lot so far. My first time tagging last week was literally a huge breath of fresh air. I do miss a lot of the people from GOM, but it seems like the pug quality is just a lot nicer. Not in terms of, they're nicer and want to hang out with you type of thing. Sorry, I have more than enough friends. Um, but but like they work with commanders more if they're not moving with the commander, then they're doing useful things. I remember we'd be struggling to get onto EBG, and once we finally got, this is on GOM, once we finally got onto EBG with the 15 or 20 of us, we'd still see barely any roamers around. We wouldn't even see a friendly allied group. I wouldn't know where most of the people are half the time. And it just felt, I don't know, not much help from the pug side, but the pug quality on CD, paired with SOS is just that much different. I felt it almost immediately. Didn't even have to run open. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's very different, and I mean, a lot of people in their World vs. World experience have stayed on one server the whole time, and it is shocking how different the experience is somewhere else, where the community and the players are, they act different and they play different, and it definitely impacts your play experience.
Yeah. Also, the troll quality is just that much better on CD.
There is the team chat, yeah, entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like with this matchup, there are like 5 people who go at it, and yes, it's great.
And I mean, not like, I mean, there's different levels. There's the team chat troll that's just hostile and kind of a terrible person, and you want to block most of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's the just kind of spammy, wants attention. Hopefully, is entertaining every once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the entertaining ones. Like the ones who are pretty much just joking around 99% of the time.
Yeah, yeah. And Crystal Desert seems to have more of that. So
Yeah, yeah, thankfully.
yeah, cool community so far. All the guild leaders have been friendly and welcoming. One of them even had seen some of our videos, and they were, said that helped them out a lot. So that was cool to hear.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and a couple other guilds also transferred over recently that we've worked with before. So it's good to have some familiar faces.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still a secret for the main one that was in our alliance before. It's not a secret anymore, right? They run uh with their tag showing now, because I remember when they first moved over, uh they didn't want anyone to know, even though everyone already knew.
Nowadays, everybody can look at GW2 Mist and see transfer, so there's no secrets.
Yeah, right. Pagu is now on CD with new, also crew. Damn, all 3 of those
Yeah,
guild names rhyme.
I had not thought about that.
Yeah, same. But that's cool. I really miss the guys from Pagu. Uh, like, I think when I ran with AW, and then AW left, the only fight guilds left on Darkhaven at the time were us and Pagu, I think.
For a
Oh,
while, yeah.
yeah. Besides, like different time zones. We had Atlas, but they ran during OCX and stuff. But yeah, yeah, I remember we'd sidecar and stuff. Oh yeah, sidecar with Dusk too. But yeah, super fun times. But yeah, they're back. I mean, well, they're not back. They're on CD with us now. Get to play with some more friends. I miss the guys from crew too.
Yeah, it's good to have other guilds to work with on the map that are of a size where we can actually fit in and not trigger
Yeah,
queues and such. Yeah, it was getting a little frustrating on our previous server a bit, just with the lack of cohesion and teamwork, and kind of not really being able to have all us play together.
yeah,
So it's refreshing. It's kind of reigniting the fun fights and enjoying the game a bit. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. The fights are definitely a lot more fun. Oh my lord.
Yeah, yeah. When everybody else is going at it and they read your movements and move with you, it's a good thing.
Oh yeah. That about sums it up for this episode of the State of the Mist podcast. But before we go, we have a special guest for you.
Introducing Ratasum's new rising talent. They've got bars you wouldn't believe, even though they're only 1 foot tall. Introducing Lil Plop.
Introducing myself, I am Little Plop. Break it down human style, watch my IQ drop. Harsh out in these mists if you ask me. Name is new but don't get confused, no lame PPT. We're Fight Guild. We're Fight Guild. Pushing through choke points like a beast. Always making sure we've had our feast. Plenty of dad jokes up our sleeves. Knocking down gates with no siege. We're Fight Guild. We're Fight Guild. Let's discuss. Don't underestimate us. Teaching people how to bob and weave. Joyous combat yelling. Cleave, cleave, cleave. Hiding in your tower or key. Just delays the moment when you weep. Eat their children, Criff said. Take a dirt nap and go to fucking bed.
Alright, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that musical piece by Lil Plop. That wraps up this episode of the State of the Mist podcast. This is Salamander,
And I'm Criff.
and we'll catch you next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe.
Introduce myself. I am Little Plop. Break it down human style. Watch my IQ drop. Harsh out in these mists if you ask me. Name is new but don't get confused, no lame PPT. We a Fight Guild. We a Fight Guild. Pushing through choke points like a beast. Always making sure we've had our feast. Plenty of dad jokes up our sleeves. Knocking down gates with no siege. We a Fight Guild. We a Fight Guild. Let's discuss. Don't underestimate us. Teaching people how to bob and weave. Joyous combat yelling. Cleave, cleave, cleave. Hiding in your tower or keep. Just delays the moment when you weep. Eat the children, Criff said. Take a dirt nap and go to fucking bed. Ooh, ooh.